All right, so 720. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so how does it feel?
Relief. I'm happy with my score.
Uh-huh. Good, good. And this was your second attempt, right?
Second attempt.
Second attempt. And you went from 640 or? Yeah,
640.
640.
Yeah.
640, and you improved both in quant and verbal. So that's amazing. Yes.
Yes.
And so you have a child, 11 months old?
She's one. She just turned one.
Oh, that's nice. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you expecting another one?
Yes.
Oh, good. When is the other one due?
March 19.
Wow, you are a brave girl, I would say that. Having two kids back to back, that's amazing. Yeah,
Thank you.
and taking your GMAT during that. So that's that's another amazing feat. So tell me about it. Tell me about your journey.
Well, so I moved to Japan this year from Brazil originally. I grew up there, and when I arrived here, I had some struggle with finding a job, and my MBA was a plan for the future. So I decided, well, I'm gonna put that time to, to a good something, and I started studying for the GMAT in March 1st. I studied for 4 months. I had already studied for the GMAT before, and it was not a good score. I didn't have enough time. I was focusing on my job. So now I had, well, some time, but with some distractions.
Yes.
In the
Some
beginning,
is an understatement, I would say.
in the beginning, I would study for 3 hours at the most. She was still breastfeeding, so I had to make some pauses and cook and make lunch and dinner and grocery shop, and laundry, stuff like that. So I could only stop for a while, and then with time, I got a little bit more steady and more organized. I think when I started with e-GMAT, it was easier because they have those modules. So it's a bite-sized lesson and very organized in terms of what you have to do and what's the lesson for that day. So it helped me a lot with all of well, it's a big thing, GMAT. So when you start, you have like, where do I start? So what do I do first? And it helped a lot.
So how did you figure out where to start and what to do first?
So e-GMAT suggests that you take the diagnosis test, which I did, and they also suggest that you start with your stronger section. But I always felt that my quant was better, but I did very, very well on the verbal diagnosis, which is, well, weird. So I started with verbal because I felt like English was something that I know the language, but GMAT's not about knowing the language. It's about more than that. So I studied first critical reasoning, then I went to reading comprehension, and then sentence correction.
Okay. Oh, you did sentence correction towards the end. Okay, that's
yes.
interesting. All right.
It was my worst section.
Okay.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, yeah, because I see towards the end you were at what's 92 percentile in that?
Yes, I ended up with a very good score.
All right. Okay. So yeah, so tell me, so you chose CR because that was your strongest section. Is that why you chose CR to begin with?
Yes. Yes, I felt like it was easier for me with CR.
Okay. All right. So tell me, how did you go about preparing for CR?
I didn't have any techniques regarding strengthening questions, weakening questions, things like that. It was very based on intuition and reading. I wasn't organized in terms of the choice analysis. So that helped me a lot with each module. And I was following the course. I ended and I did Scholaranium, and the score was good. So I just moved on because I didn't have a lot of time. I scheduled the test before I started because I wanted a close timeline so I would have a goal. And I moved on because I knew that the hard part was still to come.
Okay. So tell me, regarding CR, what was the best part about the course?
About the course? The strategy part, in terms of what's the strengthening question, what's the pre-thinking. Pre-thinking is very important, very important. And then choice analysis, how to eliminate them and focus on the details that would make the choice wrong.
Okay.
So that for me was key.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So CR, you didn't have much of problems at all. That was your strongest suit. Okay. All right. Let's move to RC then. How was RC?
Well, RC was my most difficult section. For me, it was the one that I struggled with. Actually, during the lessons, the module, I was doing okay. I would read the text slowly, and then I would analyze the questions. My accuracy was high. It was 90%. I was doing well because it says, do not worry about time right now. You're still learning, so go slow. That's okay. And then you will improve with time. Thing is, when I got to Scholaranium and it's timed, I could not finish 60% of the tests. And when I tried to rush, my accuracy got way low. So that was something that got me really worried. And I tried for a while to improve on that. And it turned out I either my accuracy would fall or I would go way up on the time that I could not afford.
Okay, all right.
So my strategy on that was, let's go to sentence correction and see how it goes. Because critical reasoning, I was on limit of time. I was on the right amount of time for each question. And then for sentence correction, I found out that it was better than I thought, and I could improve a lot, and I did improve a lot. So I focused on getting even better so that I could save time for my reading comprehension, which was too much time. So I tried to balance them.
Very nice. Okay.
Which worked.
Okay, all right. So that's very interesting. I mean, you looked at the data and you figured out that if you rush yourself, your accuracy goes down. If you don't rush yourself, you're not able to finish the ability quizzes on time, right? So you're talking about ability quizzes, right? So then you figured out what your strategy should be. You focused on another section, SC, and you improved a lot there. You saw the potential to reduce the time to answer, and now you were able to get some time from SC into RC. Now, when you did this, so this is very interesting for me because I want to understand, did you further enhance your RC skills, or were you okay with just spending a little bit more time on RC?
I spent a little more time on RC.
Okay. So essentially what you're talking about is, so are you aware of the concept called Takt Time?
Yes.
So that's what you're talking about here, right?
Yes.
So for RC, for you to maintain that particular level of ability, that is the time that you needed, right? You couldn't improve beyond that, which is okay. I mean, you were able to manage your time appropriately. So it's very interesting that you were able to implement the concept of Takt Time and incorporate that into your study strategy. Very interesting. Good. All right. SC. So how come SC, which appeared to be your weakest area, became your strength? So strongest area. So explain to me what worked there.
What was weak about it, in my opinion, after I studied, I did a mistake of trusting my ear, which a lot of people do.
Natives
When
do. Mm-hmm.
when English is something that you're comfortable with, you feel like you know. But when we start studying it, it's you understand how it works. It's about logic. It's about those rules, and once you master it, it really becomes easy.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was, oh, that's how it works. Okay, so let's practice and
Mm-hmm.
then improve as much as I can to save more time for the parts that I'm not as strong.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So you've stated the problem that many native speakers experience. They trust their ear. So
Yeah.
even though I know that in your debrief you've written that you are a non-native speaker, but you're not technically a non-native speaker, right?
Well, I have something I learn languages easily, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My family is my mom's Chinese, so I've always grew up with a
Multiple
lot of
languages.
languages around me. So
Okay.
here it's good.
Mhm.
But I learned English in Brazil.
In Brazil. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So how many languages do you know?
I don't really know Chinese. I try to learn throughout
Uh-huh.
my life.
Uh-huh.
It's really hard.
Okay.
So Spanish a little bit, Portuguese, English. I'm trying to learn Japanese
Japanese. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right.
now.
Interesting. Yeah, because when I looked at you, you didn't seem like a typical Brazilian. I mean, your face didn't look like a typical Brazilian face. I could sense some Asian touch there. So now I understand where that's coming from. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So let's talk about Scholaranium. How did you incorporate Scholaranium in your verbal preparation? And then we'll move on to Quant.
So I did the whole all the modules for each section, and then I would go to Scholaranium and do the ability quizzes.
Okay.
But I saved 3 to 4 weeks until before the test. So my plan was to finish all the study parts
Hmm.
and leave 3 to 4 weeks to practice in Scholaranium,
Okay.
and that's what I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I solely practiced on that. For verbal, since I had a timing issue, ability quizzes wouldn't help me as much
Hmm.
because it's close. The timing is set. So I would do personalized tests.
The custom
Um,
quizzes.
yes,
Yeah.
and I did since reading comprehension was something that I struggled with. I did the easy ones first, and then the medium ones, and I would build up a little bit on
Hmm.
difficulty.
Hmm.
And other ones I would just mix, and then by the end I was mixing all 3 sections.
Hmm.
But I wanted to do as much reading comprehension as possible to get better on that.
So essentially, you started off with easier single section, increase the difficulty level, and then as you got comfortable, then you started to create your own verbal mocks, if you will, right? Mini mocks kind of thing,
Yes.
right? Okay,
Yes.
all right. Okay, so did you ever go back to the course while doing Scholaranium to brush up on a certain concept or just to fine tune your preparation?
I actually joined the live sections.
Okay.
So at first I didn't take the live sections, but
Mm-hmm.
when I finished the course and I wasn't as high in score as I wanted, I watched some videos, some interviews, and they actually said the live sections helped a lot. So I said, let's go for it because it's 4 weeks to go and I really need that.
Mm-hmm.
So the live sections actually helped me with what was missing, I guess.
Okay.
I didn't go back to the lessons. I think I only went once,
Okay.
but
So
I
what
took a lot of notes.
so what did you learn from the live sessions that you yeah.
So they helped me with those 700 questions.
Okay.
I felt like I was on the mocks. I was at 690 and I couldn't break through that one.
Mm-hmm.
And the live sections, they go for the harder questions.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's there that you're not seeing to tackle those ones? And um, for the fun part was great. I got a personalized workshop, which
Quant workshop.
was, yeah, we did 2 tests,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would see your scores and see how you did in each question, and they answered me by email and helped me a lot with that. And the
Okay.
verbal, to go through each question with everybody, and you see everybody else's response and the teacher's response, it helps a lot.
Okay. So you attended all the live sessions in verbal?
All that I could. The timing is the time lapse.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here it would end at 1 a.m.
Oh, it's pretty
on
late in the
Saturday and
morning.
Sundays.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I participated in almost all of them. Yeah.
All of them. Okay. All right. So that's interesting. I mean, what you're telling me is that the live sessions helped you break that barrier.
Yes.
And that's interesting, because I can draw a parallel to working out, wherein you do understand how to work out, and the correct posture and all that, but at times you just need that trainer to push you a little bit outside of your comfort zone, and that and that does the magic. So as you were saying that, I could just relate it back to that. So good, interesting. Let's talk about quant now. So quant, how were you?
Quant's something that I've always been good at math. I've
Mhm.
always loved math,
Mhm.
but my score wasn't high enough because of my anxiety, probably. So I would rush through the questions,
Mhm.
get a few details, little mistakes that when I went through the solved questions, I would say, "Oh, how could I miss
Oh.
that? How could I? How could I have not thought of that detail on the data sufficiency?"
Uh-huh.
So it was mostly details, I
Okay.
believe. Well, geometry is something that I did not remember from past, so I had to go through all the formulas again.
Okay.
But most of it was um, patience, organization,
Mhm.
details.
So conceptually, you were very strong. You just
Yes,
didn't know how to apply those in the context of GMAT, which is where all the process skills come about, right? I mean, that you need to patiently read the question statement, absorb all the information, do the processing before you start doing the next level of processing. So
yeah.
that's
Check if there are not any restrictions, which
constraints.
always
Yes.
they were always there.
Yes. Okay. Good. So you learned all those process skills in the process. Good. Um, Scholaranium, Quant Scholaranium. How was that?
Oh, it was good. So again, like verbal, I had strong sections and struggling sections. Like
Mm-hmm.
geometry, I think, was one that I took a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then word problems, you always have to dissect all the information and then work on that. So I would mix some of them on personalized quizzes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And well, there were very, very hard questions on the ability quizzes that would throw me off, because something that I learned with Scholaranium was when to let go of the question.
Uh-huh. That's
Because when you get a high score, sometimes you get a question that you know how to solve, but it will take too long.
uh-huh.
And I would stay in there. I would
Uh-huh.
not let go.
Uh-huh.
And I think it helped me with the time issue.
That's good. That's good. And that's a very important skill to learn, when to let go. Yeah.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Because
It's
especially,
not always about getting it right.
yes, and I think that you have to balance your ego, that it's not that I can't answer this question. It's just that it's not important enough for me to answer this question right now. So
Exactly.
interesting. All right. So you went from 45 to 49, so 4-point improvement in quant. So if you were to, you've already said that you learned the details of how to approach a question. So
Mhm.
that's something which you picked up from the course as you solved the application files, if I'm not wrong. So
Yes.
what
Yes.
else will you attribute your 4-point improvement to?
Well, always, I would spend more time analyzing the solved questions. How did e-GMAT solve? What was everybody's doubt? So I would go through the comments
Mm-hmm.
and see if people were getting the same mistakes that I was, or maybe how would they think that it was working, the question. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of there are a lot of things hidden inside the question that you can study. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just solving it. So I understand that reading through the resolutions and through people's doubts, mostly on the questions that I got wrong, it was very helpful.
Okay. So you spent time reviewing the solutions. You did
a lot
of time.
a
Okay.
lot.
All right, good. And I think that's one mistake that students do. They just solve the question, they get it wrong, they just figure out, okay, from the solution quickly that, okay, this is where I made a mistake, but they don't spend time in absorbing that information. So I believe that's where you actually spend a lot of time in doing that.
I did, and I think it's very important.
Okay. All right. Okay. So anything about the actual test when you were taking it? How was that experience?
Well, there's one thing that's inside my head for some time now. I'm trying to let go of it, but I was very close to that 730 sweet spot that I wanted to get. I got 720, and the last question on my verbal section, I had only a few seconds, and I said, well, I'm going to try to read it and just guess something that makes sense, not just randomly guess. And on that time that I was reading, the test ended, and I couldn't guess. I should have guessed one, and maybe they penalize a lot for not
answering the question.
non-answered questions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what if I had answered that one, just guessed? Maybe I could have gotten a higher score, but that's it. I think that if I would do it again, I would have guessed that one.
Okay, so that's the only thing that you would change in how you took the test.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I got to the last question on both sections, but yeah, the verbal was one that was blank.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's okay. It's a small thing. Yeah, you can let go of it. I would say focus on the much
720 is
bigger
great.
picture. Yeah, so focus on the bigger picture. Your applications, and so that's a lot. That's where I think it would make more sense for you to focus on. So, tell me one thing: if you were to change anything in your preparation, what would that be?
In my preparation, let me think about. I did not use as much the flags. So flags, when you flag a question,
A
to
bookmark.
see later.
Bookmark, you mean?
A mark, yes.
Yes. Okay, you
So
didn't do the.
I would have marked more questions to review because I was old school. I was using a notebook. So I would write down the question that was something that I couldn't answer right, just to make something a folder of hard questions that I would revise from time to time, like during the night when I had some spare time. But well, use your technology, right? I could have used more of the tools that you provided.
Okay, all right. Tell me if say your not if I mean your interview is going to be looked at by a lot of students who are preparing. So what would be top 3 things that you would want the students to not falter on, or top 3 mistakes to avoid so as to get to the high score?
So don't let go of the questions, hard questions in math that you don't think it's worth it. If you think it's going to take more than 3 minutes, or you're making a mistake, you're anxious, just guess and move on. 1 or 2, I mean, a few are not going to hurt you as much. On the reading comprehension part, I guess it's from person to person, but reading it through slowly, it's good. It's not. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Hi.
Oh, she's so adorable. I didn't even know she was back there.
Oh yeah, my husband's in China for work, so I'm with her.
I understand. Was she sleeping all along?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She just woke up. Hello. Oh,
okay.
She's so adorable.
Yeah, she'll be here for a while.
That's good. She's the star here, right? She let her mommy prepare for GMAT.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, she should be here. All right. What's her name?
Livia.
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 Olivia. Okay. Oh, beautiful name. All right. So you were talking about RC. You should read slowly. Yeah.
Yes, I think that there are other sections, other parts of the test, and that's okay. If you have a strength section, focus on that, and it's okay to take more time on the parts that you're not as good and balance that out.
Perfect.
So yeah, my advice would be get your strength as even better,
Yes. Yes. Makes
and then
perfect
you
sense.
will save more time for the parts that you're not as good.
Yes. Yes. And that's a very, very important suggestion because, as humans, we always want to do better, get rid of our weaknesses. Yes, we need to get rid of our weaknesses, but we should not lose sight of the strengths that we have. We need to continue to build those strengths. So, yeah. All right. What about the third one?
Oh, the third one, let's see. Well, the section you always have a strong section, quant or verbal, and you should spend as much time on both, I would say, because first I was like, well, I'm gonna focus on quant because I'm strong at it, and verbal is gonna be bad anyway.
Oh, okay.
But no, you should get better if for a high score. You need to get better on both.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but sometimes you just say it's too much or it's going to take too much time. And no, I think you should spend time on both sections equally, I guess. You always have things to improve. And yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, all three very, very good suggestions, and I'm sure that students would really enjoy. And I hope that they don't make these mistakes and they learn from
Thank
this
you. Me
experience
too.
that you've had. So really, very enriching experience. So what's next now? You already started to apply?
I'm not applying this year.
You're not applying this year.
Not yet.
Okay.
We just moved to Japan,
Oh,
and
you will not apply. Obviously, you are expecting. What am I thinking?
I'm
Okay.
also expecting, yes.
Yes.
So a lot of things going on.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But good that you
And
have GMAT out of the. I mean, so it's good that you have GMAT out of the way. So when you are ready to apply, you don't have to worry about an exam, right? So
definitely,
it's
yes.
good. That's very good planning.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start studying for CPA,
Okay.
which is the accounting certificate for the United States. So my plan was to move to United States one day. My green card came out last year.
Oh, so you already have a
And
green card to hear.
I do. It's really recent.
Okay, good. Congrats. All right.
And I know the difficulties of moving to another country. So your resume is basically, I wouldn't say non-existent, but people don't know the companies, the school that I went to, and it's hard. You need to make a name for yourself all over again.
That is
And I
true.
feel like a great MBA will help me do that.
Right.
So
But
and a CPA. So I'm trying to rebuild my resume more internationally.
all right, that's good. Well, I would say one thing. I looked at your resume. It's so beautifully done. It's amazing.
Oh, thank
I mean,
you.
I love that timeline, and I don't want to share your resume right now because it has all your details. But it's really a lot of very visually stuff that you've presented. It was really, I mean, you could just take one look down and you could see okay, what all experiences you've had. So
Thank you.
really good. Well, one thing that I would suggest is put some accomplishments in quantitative manner in your in your resume. So
Okay.
pictorially, it's really very good. But in terms of the details that you've put for each and every job that you've had, just try to put your accomplishments in a quantitative fashion because those numbers are what create the difference. So
Okay.
do that when you are updating your resume. All right, Jaqueline, it was so nice talking to you. Really nice, and I'm so
You
glad that
too.
I got to see your daughter. She's so adorable, and
Thank you.
yeah, congratulations for your GMAT score, and good luck for your CPA, and good luck for the second one in the line. And yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
And
so much.
all right, thank you, Jaqueline. Bye bye.
Bye.